Every life tells a story. Join Frank Julian as he shares his, one chapter at a time, from Story of a Soul 2, releasing every Wednesday.
The Story of a Soul 2 by Frank Julian, with Sean O'Neill, narrated by Frank Julian. Chapter 27, Fawn Elevates Us and Humbles Us. We had a video of a man named Alfred receiving the liquid nutrition as he moved his foot to the beat of a song sang by one of our mission team members, Tracy. We were all touched, everyone in his or her own way. Another team member, Dave, was taking precious video while Ray helped to carry the insure in as we went house to house. One home was memorable. Their loved one had just died, and they had her clothes laid out where she had lain. They were crying. We were welcome to sing and pray and comfort them. A precious life had just been lost. Our desire to help only increased. I did not think that we were truly ready for what happened next. Quentin took us to the main cemetery in the city. South Africa is much more populated than Botswana. The cemetery was huge, with a sea of unearthed graves ready to receive their guests. All funerals had been moved to Saturdays to help the city cope with the massive number of deaths. People had been taking off work to go to the nearly 100 funerals every week. Many of the middle-aged people were dying, leaving grandparents to raise children. In some cases, sibling families were developing, with older siblings raising the younger ones. I remember pulling myself away to be alone as I looked upon this horrific scene, saying to myself, I don't think I can handle all this death. It was emotionally draining, and the whole team felt it. We were taken the next day to a national park to see the wild African animals in their natural habitat. It was a refreshing experience that we all needed. One of those strange occurrences that happened to me is something that I have yet to fully understand. The president of India was in town at the same time, and it was all over the media. Peter Marisburg is a sister city to India because it's where Mahatma Gandhi started his resistance movement and was famously thrown off the train. I saw the large statue of him in the city center. I said to our host pastor, I believe I'm supposed to go to the big event tomorrow because someday I am going to India. He told me later that he thought I was crazy. His closest staff had a good laugh about it when they met privately. But then something happened that changed the conversation from, who does that American think he is, to one of the women in the group being led to say, I work for the governor of the province and I can ask him tomorrow. She did, and we were given 3 VIP passes. I remember sitting there and thinking, what are we doing here? All of the paparazzi were present. The police had to clear the room and do a bomb sweep. Pastor Ray, Pastor Quentin, and I looked at each other. I began to wonder, maybe I will go to India one day. Next, we flew up to Botswana and were welcomed by Pastor Simon and his wife. There had been a story about us in the national paper. They concluded that they felt that we genuinely cared. I only wish we could have done more. We were invited to see the American ambassador at the U.S. Embassy. It was quite a big deal. He thanked us for our efforts, and it was an honor for our delegation to be received by him. Then we drove up to Safari Village, north of the Tropic of Capricorn. We had to meet with the tribal council in order to be allowed to stay. We met with them very respectfully and were approved. There was a stigma of being HIV positive and to having AIDS, and the fact that they welcomed us into their huts or meet with us in the field in the first place was very special to us. They thanked me and explained how the liquid nutrition helped them to gain weight, feel stronger, and live longer. I truly was humbled and wished in that moment that I could somehow do more. We also were allowed to visit patients at the small hospital there. One of the nurses took me aside to tell me that she herself was HIV positive and was drinking our Ensure. She thanked me, and I made sure that she knew that I was very happy to hear that she was being helped and that it carried no stigma with me. When we returned home, we had a special evening at the church to share our experience. The local paper carried a big story with pictures about our trip. I was given more invitations to speak. One in particular stands out. St. Paul's Lutheran Church in Dearborn, Michigan, had me speak. Lois coordinated it. They have never stopped collecting liquid nutrition over the last 18 years. They have a fawn month for collecting from donors every February. I have been told that the women meet every Tuesday morning to pray, and they always include Fawn. I believe it's those prayers that have kept Fawn going. I tried connecting with Abbott Labs in Ohio, which is where Ensure is made. They told me they support other groups. I was polite and thanked them for the 50 cases given to me for the second shipment. I knew that this was a work of God, and I have a standing policy of never forcing or pressuring someone to help me. God will put it on their heart if He wills it. If He does, and they refuse to listen, then they will have to answer to Him. There has been some political interest, but not much. I have been asked to open the Wayne County Board of Commission in prayer, and the same request has been made by the Michigan Senate. That is something that I shy away from, since I want Fawn to be something that is all-encompassing and nonpartisan. Anything that is truly of God should transcend politics rather than be tied to one faction or another. We did try to contact Oprah, but were never welcomed. I leave all of that to God.
Thank you for listening. Join Frank Julian every Wednesday for a new chapter of Story of a Soul 2. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter.